J365. Today I'll be showing you guys how to replace an inner tube. It's a pretty easy fix, but if you do it the wrong way, then the results can keep your bike out of commission for quite a while. So what you'll need for this is an inner tube, a pump, and if your bike has a Presta-Valve and you don't have a Presta-Valve pump, then you're going to need a Presta-Valve adapter. You can use tire levers, but if it's me, I just use myself a hammer. Works fine. So if you have quick release axles like me, you can just pull this off and that'll loosen this bolt over here. So when you pull your axle out, you want to make sure you're washing the derailleur to make sure your wheel doesn't fall out. So over here you see that the cassette, which is connected to the wheel right here, is connected. The chain is going over the cassette and then through the derailleur and down to the bottom. When you pull this axle out, you want to make sure that it's not going to just drop the wheel straight down on the ground, which could damage your rotors, damage your derailleur, damage a lot of things basically. So just watch out for that as you do this. So the next thing you're going to do is take your quick release axle from the back and bend it all the way out. And you got to hold on to your wheel because mine's already dropping out, you see. Unscrew this a little bit. Then see, it's dropping out, but it's held in place by the derailleur. So the derailleur is going to bend backwards as we force this out. And most of the time it'll just slide right out there. See, it just slid right out. We can take the wheel out and then start actually changing the tire. The next thing you're going to want to do is take off the actual tire. Take your tire lever, or in my case a hammer, because that's just easier. More people have hammers anyway, so. But you want to be careful with the hammer because if you use it improperly, it can damage your rim. So you see that right now the tire is fully engaged. And this little lip right here, I want to just pull that out enough so that I can get the rest of the lip undone. So I got it undone a little bit here. I'm going to just put my hammer in. And then keep disengaging that bead. These tires are going to be pretty easy because they're brand new, not even. And once this outside bead is disengaged, and you can start pulling the tire off, and that should come off really easy. Let's just set that down there. You want to make sure that you take the valve out. We have a Presta-Valve here. You got to take this little lock ring out in order to get the valve out with the rim. So I'm going to set that there. And you can just pull it out. Then you can look around in your inner tube try to find the leak. But yeah, I see it here. So you see that? There's no way you could patch that, and inner tubes are cheap. You take your brand new inner tube. I got this one cheap at Performance Bike. They got great sales, great prices there. And so your inner tube is going to come wrapped up like this. I got a Presta-Valve tube because higher performance, better at maintaining air. So unravel it, and then the first thing you want to do is put a little bit of air in it so that it'll hold its form. So you take this top off here, and once you got that top off, you got to unscrew this top brass cap. Since I'm using an adapter, it'll be a little different. Then you take this, once you've got tube out, when there's air pressure in, this brass cap will be pushed all the way out like it is now. But there's no air pressure right now. So what you want to do is screw this on if you have an adapter. If you have a Presta-Valve pump, you can just put it on and pump it up like you normally would. So you screw this on. So once you got that fully screwed on right there, take your pump and put it in. Lock your lever or else air will continue to escape. And then just pump it up slightly so that it'll hold its form. Just enough so that it'll hold its form. One other thing you might want to do before you put your tube in is look through the inside of the tire to see if what caused your flat was something internal. Because if you got a thorn stuck in your tire or some glass or whatever went through the outer sidewall or anything, any part of the tire, then it'll just keep causing flats and wasting your money in inner tubes. So once you got it pumped up a little bit, you're going to put this inside of your tire, and you want to make sure that when you put this inside of your tire it's completely straight. So once we got our inner tube inside of our tire, we're going to have to put this on the wheel. So take your wheel and engage the bead of a part of it and try to push the inner tube, keep it inside as you do this. So we have it engaged on one side and then not on the other. And go around the wheel just doing this again and again. Except, before you do all this, you got to make sure that your valve has gone through the valve hole. And before you do that, you need to make sure that you've taken your lock ring off, or else you'll have nothing to hold it in place once you get started. So put your valve through your rim here, and then screw on your lock ring, finger tighten it to reasonable tightness until it's pulling the valve through the rim, which is sort of keeping the inner tube where we want it and not allowing it to shift and make the valve come out of the rim at a wrong angle. So once you've got that in, then you're ready to start actually putting the tire in. So put your inner tube back in if it's fallen out, like mine is. Then keep pushing that front tire bead in. Just go around the tire, rotate it, and keep the tube inside of the rim at all times, or else it can get mangled and pinched, and that's what causes pinch flats. So once you've got your inner bead engaged here, and your outer bead, however, is still free. So you're going to start peeling that in and sticking it beneath the inner lip of the rim. And it might not stick at first, it might not stay there until you get more of it in. So sometimes it's good to have a friend help you here, hold one of the sections back. Just go around in a circle, peeling this in, and it gets harder as you get closer to where you started. So it's pretty easy now, but it's getting, the area that I haven't done is getting smaller, which means the tire's getting more and more stretched. So it's really hard about when you got just about 6 inches left. Then you really have to muscle it in, and this time it just popped in really easy. So once you've got that engaged, you want to pump up your tire a little bit more. So once you've got it to about firm but not too hard, and go around, look on the inside of the rim to make sure that the inner tube is not pinched anywhere. Because if it is, you're going to be back here changing it again pretty fast. While you got your wheel off, you might want to give it a little cleaning. Normally just wipe down the rims, makes them look nice and shiny. Wipe off the rotor a little bit. Just wipe off your cassette, wipe it down. Wipe off the rest of your spokes. Just give it a thorough cleaning. So it's time to put together again the wheel derailleur assembly. So what we're going to do is take this wheel and just carefully put it above. I like putting it above the derailleur mechanism and then sliding it down and into the... So when the derailleur is functioning, it's bent down here. So what you're going to have to do is simulate that by pulling your wheel into a position where it is pushing that section of the derailleur up. So try to slide the chain on top of your cassette there. Sometimes you just have to force it in, but then it'll give a nice click when you get it in. I'm loosening my axle a little bit here because it's over tightened. Before you do this, I'd advise shifting to your highest gear so that you don't have to slide it further up the chainring. But then just keep sliding it further back into the derailleur assembly until it clicks. Then once you do that, you're going to have to simply slide your wheel back and into these slots. Make sure your axle is pushed all the way to the top, as high as you can get it. You can do that by actually grabbing the axle and pushing it up into the slot. So make sure when you slide your wheel in that the brake pads are aligned with the rotor. If you put it in right, then they should be. And then once you've got it fully in, tighten your quick release enough, just enough, because you want to have it loose enough to make sure that it'll still clamp. So as you can see here, we've got the brake pads aligned, we've got our derailleur hooked up properly, cassette's in the right place, our wheel is straight. So once you got that in, you pump it up to your desired pressure. Thanks for watching, liking, and subscribing. If you have any requests or ideas for another video, you can put them in the comments down there. You can email us at d.c.mtb365@gmail.com. This is MTB365.